So even there are accidents, you're supposed to die from the accidents, but still the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas will protect you, and then you will continue to live on. So if you truly have faith in them, then you can give away your lives to them, and then they can do whatever they want to transform your lives, because there's no bodhisattvas, no Buddhas who want to do something wrong for you, but all they want is to perfect you. And what is our legacy? What is our career? Our career is to perfect ourselves. Our career is to gain perfection of liberation. So if we turn our mind toward perfection, the perfection of enlightenment, deeply and sincerely, then we're able to connect with the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas unobstructedly, and then liberation is not too far away. But if we don't truly believe in this, then we will go on the wrong path. We will deviate from the liberation path. So the next thing they say that they want to be able to gladden all sentient beings. They want us to have pleasures, and they want to gladden us. But what kind of pleasure? Not the pleasure from samsara, not pleasures from the 5 desires. That's not what the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas want. They want us to have great bliss. They want us to have the bliss of nirvana. They want us to have the bliss of someone who transcends the 3 worlds. That the kind of bliss that they want us to have. So if one day we have money, the next day we cry because we lose our money, that's not what our Buddhas want for us. If you have money, then you become, self-grasping. If you lose it and you become suffering, then that's not the kind of pleasures that the Buddhas want for you. So whatever we have, everything we have, we grasp at them, right? There's nothing we don't grasp at. Whatever we have, whatever we gain from the 5 desires, we can grasp. And once we grasp, then suffering will arrive at the same time. So the kind of pleasures that the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas want for us is not the pleasures from the 5 desires from the samsaric world, but it is the blissful from the state of nirvana, and that's what they want for us. And then here it says to bring happiness to all sentient beings without suffering, beyond suffering. And then it says here to cause all sentient beings to have wisdom, to be free from doubt in order to have wisdom. You can go, all over to all corners of the 3 worlds, and you can try to look for somebody who loves you as much as the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, but you would never be able to find anyone, because even for your parents, if they love you and they want to protect you and provide for you, but that's just for one lifetime. You may not be able to meet with your parents again in your next lifetime. No one can be your physical parents from one life to the second life. It's very difficult to meet your physical parents in this life again, in the next life. But the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas have never abandoned you from one life to another. Only in Buddhism you can find this, and only the enlightened beings would be able to continue to help you from life to life like that. So we have the greatest merits to meet with all these enlightened beings. It means that we have practiced for many lifetimes. So that's why we ended up meeting with them. So even if we read one sentence in a sutra and we listen to something that is taught to us, and we feel very blessed and very happy, then of course it means that we have been practicing and we've been receiving the blessings from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for many lifetimes. And it says here, great enlightening beings also think that I should be like the sun, shining universally on all without seeking thanks or reward, able to take care of all sentient beings, even if they are bad, never giving up my vows on any account, not abandoning them, all sentient beings, because one sentient being is evil. So the Bodhisattvas are like that. Even if they mistreat them, they will not be abandoned. Bodhisattvas will not abandon them. So if you meet with people whom at any time, under any circumstance, they would be ready to help you, then who are they? They are actually so actually they are always ready to help us, just like the sun shining on us. Well, actually, when the sun shines upon our clothes, when you try to dry the clothes, we are happy because our clothes are dry, but we have never tried to make prostration to the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and be grateful of their blessings. So have we ever done that? We have never done that, and it's just like throughout our lifetimes, we've never been so grateful like that. So when we think of all of the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas who have helped us, they are like due to that, if we accept anything that is as small, then only the holy beings would have this kind of mentality. We are breathing now, breathing in, breathing out. Have we ever said thank you to the oxygen that we receive? We drink a sip of water, and then do we say thank you? No, we have never done that to show the highest level of gratitude, and then we walk back and forth, you know, and then in space, then do we show any kind of gratitude at all? No, because if we don't have enough gratitude, then we're still lacking a lot. So it says here, where's that? So if the sentient beings love the bodhisattvas, and the bodhisattvas love them, if the sentient become evil and try to harm the bodhisattvas, then the bodhisattvas continue to embrace them. And it is not because they are evil that the bodhisattvas will give up on their aspirations to help them. So for those bodhisattvas who come here, they really want to help the sentient beings, but sometimes they meet with so many obstacles, and you know, sometimes they feel discouraged. And the bodhisattvas don't feel discouraged, but they continue to want to go to transcend the difficulties in order to continue to help the sentient beings. So for those who intentionally want to harm the bodhisattvas, and if it's somebody whom you have tried to help for all their lives, but then you realize that they are trying to be connected to you so that they can find a way to harm you. If something like that happened to you, would you be discouraged? Even for those evil beings, they continue to want to embrace, and they continue to want to teach. So something like this, you know, the enlightened beings, for us human beings, if we read something like this, of course we are very grateful, and we feel very you know, appreciative of it. But for ourselves, there's no way that we can continue to help such a person. But for the bodhisattvas, they continue to want to embrace even evil people. It says here, even I would never give up my vows on this account, not abandoning all sentient beings because one sentient being is evil. I will continue to diligently practice the dedication of roots of goodness to cause all sentient beings to attain peace and ease. Even if it's just one evil person, If that one evil person can somehow stop your aspiration from becoming realized, then it means that your mental powers is so weak. So if all the sentient beings are okay, but this evil person wants to continue to harm you, then there's no need to fight against this evil person. You will find a different way so that you can continue to help the other sentient beings, but you would not abandon this evil person. Because if you want all sentient beings to attain peace and ease, you also want this evil person to have peace and ease. So if anytime you run into any sort of difficulties and challenges, and you continue to love the person who causes obstacle to you, then you are truly a bodhisattva. So for people who wants to to harm you, to hurt you, and you realize that that is the person who wants to hurt you and who wants to kill you, and you almost die, and can you turn your mind toward them and confess on their behalf? Maybe in the past you have caused harm to them. So then anyway, you make confession on their behalf, and you also make confession for all the wrong things that you did in the past. So you thank them for coming and doing wrong things to you, so that you can be reminded of the bad karma that you have committed in the past. But if it is not your karma, and it is some sort of an understanding, and they did something horrible to harm you, then you also confess on their behalf, and you pray that the karma between you and yourself, you and another person, the other person can be completely purified. So if you confess on their behalf, then you will be to receive positive things very swiftly. If you confess on your behalf, then and you are sincere at confessing, then positive things or reward can come to you. But if you confess on behalf of the evil people day after day, whenever you think of them, whenever you think of their negative mind frame toward you or toward another person, if you continue to think of them and feel love toward them, and feel how feel touched that they would have to suffer so much due to their evil mind, then if you continue to do that day after day, you'll be able to receive positive things in return very very swiftly. So if you want people to have peace and ease, that is the mind frame of a bodhisattva. And then it says here, even if my roots of goodness be few, I embrace all sentient beings and make a great dedication with a joyful heart. So yeah, they have used all of their roots of goodness to dedicate to them. That's a lot. That's that's a vastness of roots of goodness. But they are being humble here, and they say, "Oh, even if my roots of goodness be few." So they embrace all sentient beings. So don't wait until you become a holy being to turn your mind toward all the sentient beings. Even now at this moment, if we're not holy beings yet, we can continue to turn your mind toward the sentient beings and make great dedication. So it is just a way of saying things that the Bodhisattva says here. Even if my roots of goodness be few, I embrace all sentient beings and make great dedication. So then it becomes a spiritual power that you can rely on to dedicate. So if we meet with difficulties and we meet with obstacles, yet we continue to maintain our mind of goodness, then that means that we have transcended. If the roots of goodness are strong, then no matter what difficulties, they will they will transcend all the difficulties, and if they can transcend all the difficulties and the obstacles, then that means that they progress onto a higher path. If you make the aspiration to bring benefits to a lot more people, then you can see that you will be able to progress very quickly. So this is a very good way of teaching us, like no matter what obstacles, no matter what difficulties, if we continue to maintain our roots of goodness, then we'll be able to accomplish a lot. So if we meet with difficulties, then you make even stronger aspirations. So if you make stronger aspiration, more vast aspiration, then you'll be able to gain a lot of spiritual power and will be able to benefit a lot more people. So this is pervasive, a pervasive kind of great dedication, not small dedication. So the further they go into the cycle of life and death, the mind of aspiration is getting to be more vast and vast. And the next thing here, the next thing it says here is that when if one has roots of goodness but does not desire to benefit all sentient beings, then that's not called dedication. So the roots of goodness are for what? Only to benefit sentient beings and nothing else. So for those people who have talked about the Buddha Dharma, but just look at the way they benefit other sentient beings. If they say that they have attained realization, but they do not turn their mind or they do not have actions that bring benefit to other sentient beings, then you can tell that is not truly accomplishment, truly realization. So those who has the Buddha Dharma means that they have the roots of goodness. And if they have the roots of goodness, but they do not live a life, a beneficial life for other sentient beings, then they don't have roots of goodness, really. So you can say it kind of backwards, but that's how it is. So ever since they become realized and enlightened, they day and night they think about how to benefit all sentient beings. To leave the physical body is it's something very small. Even if you have to abandon your own bodies in order to bring benefits to other beings, to benefit sentient beings, then you will be ready to let go of your body. But if you die and then your death does not bring any benefit to any sentient beings, then don't want to let go of your life, and it has nothing to do with being selfish or grasping the body. So have the roots of goodness, you have to put everything in a, and then you would measure to see if you continue to have life, having this life will bring more benefits or less benefits to more people or less people. So it is due to the benefits, the vast benefits that they want to bring to the sentient beings, that they want to they want to I guess have these activities. So their activities are based on whether they can benefit more people or not. So this is something that they want to they want to go on doing. So if you give them wealth, it doesn't really matter. So because all they want is to benefit other beings with their lives or with their bodies. So if people say that they are realized but they don't want to do things to benefit other beings, then these kind of people are not truly accomplished people. So people who are smart, they can repeat what the Buddha says, or they can say what the master says, or they can invent some sayings that are similar to what the Buddhas used to say. But the thing is, if we look at their lives and we see that they do not live a life that is beneficial to all sentient beings, and that's not truly a realized person. Because this is the foundation, this is the basic essential basic of an enlightened person. You have to bring benefits to all sentient beings if you are enlightened. So to benefit all sentient beings is to cultivate and make your roots of goodness stronger, and more pervasive. So if you want to keep your roots of goodness, to maintain your roots of goodness, then you have to somehow bring benefit to all sentient beings, either this way or that benefit or this benefit, either spiritually or mentally or even materialistically, whatever you can do in your life to bring benefit to all sentient beings, then that means that you are cultivating your roots of goodness. So day after day, you have to be able to make the aspiration to bring benefit to all sentient beings so that you can maintain your roots of goodness. Well, you don't know what you want to do yet, but in the morning when you wake up, then you pray to the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas that from now on, from this day onward until forever and ever, whenever that I'm still living, I'm still breathing, then I would like to, use my physical body to benefit all sentient beings in whichever ways. If we can make such an aspiration, then we'll be able to grow our roots of goodness. If our roots of goodness are strong and are pervasive, then our merits will also be pervasive, and then our wisdom will also be pervasive. So the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas want to dedicate all the roots of goodness. So if you have roots of goodness, but you don't dedicate toward the benefit of all sentient beings, then that's not dedication at all. If you want to dedicate, according to a ritual, there's no need to do that. You can dedicate and live your life to benefit all sentient beings without relying on the rituals of dedication. And then here it says, when every single root of goodness is directed toward all sentient beings, that is called dedication. It says here, when every single root of goodness is directed toward all sentient beings. So even if we just have one single root of goodness, so we have ourselves and we have that which belongs to us. So all sentient beings are ours. So based on our single root of goodness, if we face all sentient beings, then we have to benefit them. They are our objects of dedication. So whenever we can see, we can hear, we can meet, and we see, we hear, we meet all these sentient beings. We know this, we know that, and then we end up knowing the sentient beings. Whichever we know, we hear, we see, then we have to make the aspiration to benefit them all. So is it something that you dare to do? That's what they taught us, and so we want to follow their models. We have to follow their instructions, and we make the aspiration to help all sentient beings, because whatever we can see, we can touch, we can understand, those are our objects of understanding, of seeing, of hearing, etc. And all those objects need to be our objects of dedication. And then the next thing that says, they cultivate dedication to place sentient beings in the true nature of things where there is no attachment. Or we want to place them at the true nature of no attachment. What does it mean, no attachment? It means that they are abiding in their true nature to transcend and to gain realization. So the main thing is to attain the true nature. True nature is non-attachment, it's non-abiding, and it's a liberate state of the mind. And that is the kind of dedication the Bodhisattvas went to dedicate for us. So that is the main thing. That is the most essential thing of the aspiration of the Bodhisattvas, to place us in our true nature. So they don't want to come into this world to do anything else. They want to perfect us. They want to help us to abide in our true nature. And then it says here to dedicate that the sentient beings does not move or change It means that the sentient beings are not moved by the obstacles in this life, and they do not transgress, or they are immovable. They do not change in accordance. They do not change their mind when it comes to the bodhicitta, or the mind of enlightenment. So if they can do that for one person, it means that they can perfect that person. So whoever help her to attain the unattached new true nature, to attain the state of immovable mental state of the mind, then that person is a bodhisattva, because a normal person would not be able to help such a person to be placed in true nature. Then it says here, dedication without depending on or grasping dedication. So for example, we are sitting here, and we rely. I mean, let's say our back is against the chair, and it means that we are relying on something. We rely on the back of the chair, but now they want us to not be rely on anything, because right now we rely on everything. We put our feet on the floor. We rely on this practice, and we rely on our teachers. So it means that we are relying on everything. But for somebody who is non-abiding, who is non-relying, then it means that this person has nothing that they can grasp at, and they do not rely on anything. They do not need to grasp on anything. They do not depend on anything. So non-dependence means that it's non-grasping, and if it's non-dependence is non-abiding, and if it's non-abiding, then that is the true, I guess, the true realm of reality, which is true enlightenment. If you can do that, then that is true dedication. Other kinds of dedication is not true dedication. So the bodhisattvas use all their roots of goodness, turn toward all sentient beings with the same mind frame, and that is the true dedication. And it says here, the dedication without attachment to the appearances of roots of goodness, dedication without false idea about the essential nature of consequence of actions, meaning that to dedicate without worrying about karma. No matter what kind of karma, we still want to dedicate our roots of goodness, so that everyone can gain enlightenment equally. They want each sentient beings to become enlightened. They want each sentient beings to become liberated. Whether they have obstacles or not, whether they are good or bad, still the bodhisattvas want the same enlightenment for each and every one of them. And it says here, dedication without attachment to the characteristics of the 5 clusters of material and mental existence. So it means a dedication without attachment to the 5 aggregates. Are we sick of this 5 aggregates? Yeah, many people who are spiritually inclined or want to transcend the 5 clusters, but because we're still attached to these 5 clusters, and we are not able to go beyond the 5 clusters. But the bodhisattvas want us to go beyond them, want us to be able to understand and experience the state of emptiness of the 5 aggregates. And if we live in a state of signlessness, emptiness, then there's no eyes, no ears, no nose, and then there's no knowledge, there's no there's no birth and death, and they have to be in a state of non-impediment, a state of mental impediment, and they are in accordance with the Prajna Paramita. So if they are in accordance with Prajna Paramita, then they are becoming enlightened. So then it says here, dedication without destroying the characteristic of the 5 clusters. Well, in the past, I read a text by the master called Hòa Thượng Minh Thiện. At that time, during one of my retreats in 1995 or 1997, I read that text by Hòa Thượng Minh Thiện, and I was not able to stand still, but I bowed down immediately, and then I found out that he already passed away. Yeah, actually, this is the first story of the text by Hòa Thượng Minh Thiện. He raised a crow, and that day the crow did not want to eat anything. Then he went on a boat in the mid of the river. Then he opened up the cage. Then the crow flew away, and then he came back to the and the crow came back to the cage, and then. And actually, in the past, I read that story, but I was not able to understand anything. But then after that, I realized, oh, I understood something from that story. But he already passed. So, what does it mean? When the crow was released from the cage, was able to transcend the material body, the physical body, it means that that he was able to fly into the sky without depending on anything, without abiding on anything. But then he decided to return to the cage to do what? To benefit all sentient beings. So the moment we enter the state of emptiness, then we are no longer being bounded by the 5 aggregates, but we have to return to the cage. And then because only when we return to the cage it will be able to bring benefits to all sentient beings. But once they have experience going beyond the physical body, then when they return to the cage, they are not having anxiety anymore. It's before, when they were not able to eat or to drink when the crow was in the cage, and then the boat of Prajna Paramita brought them to the mid of the river, and then the crow comes back. So why is it that he wants to come back? Because he was already able to go on beyond the cage, but the crow continues to come back to the 5 aggregate body in order to bring benefits to other beings, because they come back, but they do not grasp at their physical bodies anymore. They continue to have a very a life that is at ease and at peace, even when they remain in the body of the 5 aggregates, but they're still at peace and at ease, and they have their own freedom. So that means that we don't destroy the characteristic of the 5 clusters. And it says here, dedication without grasping action. Because if we attain the state of emptiness of the 5 clusters, then there's no more karma to grasp at, no more action to grasp at. Even if the whole world wants you to be attached, to be grasped, and they have all these all these traps. They try to trap you so that you can be grasped, but there's no way that you can grasp at anything anymore. Well, once you are able to transcend the 5 clusters, the 5 aggregates, there's nothing that can bound you. There's nothing that you can be attached. Come back to the. When they come back to this life, they live the normal life. They eat like you eat. They sleep like you sleep. They even sleep deeper than you sleep, and you have to wake them up in the morning. But there's nothing that can bound them anymore. There's nothing that can grasp them anymore. They cannot be attached to anything anymore. They can penetrate all circumstances, all living circumstances, but there's nothing that can bind them. So it says here, without grasping action, without grasping karma. And then it says here, dedication without seeking reward. So the merits of the person who can transcend the 5 aggregates is beyond the 3 worlds. So if you want to do some good things, and of course you can do the good things, but you don't seek reward anymore. They see very clearly the cause and effect of what they do. They can see that very clearly. Let's say if you do something like this, then this reward will come to you in how many lives in the future. So then they would say, oh, something happened here. It's from what they did in the past. So they don't care for rewards, because they continue to do things to benefit all sentient beings without the 3 worlds. So every time they do something that benefits sentient beings, then their merits get increased. So there's no need to look for reward or to ask for reward, to seek for reward anymore. So an enlightened being will see the initial cause, and they would see the reward and the fruition, but they don't seek for it. They see every little thing, and they take the responsibility for all the actions. Yeah, because sometimes the bodhisattvas do something to help them, even if the bodhisattvas have to do something that's negative in order to wake up some people, to help wake up this person. And then the bodhisattvas, would be willing to accept this kind of karma for using, non-positive methods to help enlighten another person. So without seeking reward means that they do not look for reward, but it doesn't mean that they don't accept the karma from whatever action they take. They would not try to avoid the fruition, or they would not try to avoid the karma. So they do not seek reward, but they do not avoid karma. And then here says dedication without attachment to causality. Dedication without imagining what is produced by causality. Dedication without attachment to reputation. So once they attain the state of emptiness of the 5 aggregates, that there's nothing that can defile them. And from that moment onward until the day they become Buddhas, they will continue to be non-defiled, completely non-defiled. And once you are able to recognize your true nature, then you will be completely pure. You will be completely peerless. Of course, they still have to accept the old karma that they have done in past lives. So for many lifetimes, we have been husbands and wives of many sentient beings, and many of them appear. And then many of them, like maybe 5 or 10 or 20 people who have been your wives and husbands in the past lives, but there's no attachment whatsoever. So if you have to pay back the karma, you have to pay back the karma, but there's no attachment. So once you attain the state of emptiness of the 5 aggregates, there's no way that you can be attached to anything anymore. So here we're talking about dedication toward the sentient beings. We don't want the sentient beings to be attached to karma. They don't want the sentient beings to be attached to causes and conditions. They don't want the sentient beings to generate a mind of differentiation when they meet with the objects.
Namo Buddha Shakyamuni. This is the end of the excerpt of a live interpretation of an oral commentary given by Bhikkhu Thich Tue on the Avatamsaka Sutra. The interpreter takes full responsibility for all errors that are solely due to her limitations in English proficiency and in understanding the Dharma.